Baruch Hashem, this is a Torah thought about the power of every individual, every single human. They say by the Rugged Trevor Gaon that one time two different people wanted his haskama, his approval for their book. One of them had a book of halacha, of Jewish law. Another one had a book of stories, Sipurei Tzadikim, stories of the righteous. And the Rugged Trevor wrote the approbation for the stories very quickly. So the one who was waiting for the approval for his book of halacha approached him and said, I don't understand. My book is about halachas. That's so important to daily Jewish life. Why did you so easily and quickly and firmly write the approval for those stories? So the Rugged Trevor responded by saying, I am following the way of the Torah. The Torah starts off with the first book being about stories, and then the halachas come later. Now this story itself begs the question, why? Why doesn't the Torah start off from the first halachas? And actually, Rashi, the very famous 12th century commentator, brings it up as his very first question on Chumash, and the very first pasuk, and the very first Rashi. In the name of Amar Rabbi Yitzchak, who some people and some historians hold is actually Rashi's own father, which by the way is beautiful, that Rashi begins his magnus opus by referencing his very own father. Such a beautiful way of opening. Rashi says, why there was a start with Bereshis, with the stories? For a different reason. Because the future will have people who call us occupiers of Israel and say we stole the land. And therefore the Torah wanted to say from the outset, no land really belongs to any human beings. God created the entire world. God gave it to the Jewish people, and Israel is our ancestral indigenous homeland given to us by God over 3,000 years ago. And for that argument, which is the primary argument of why Israel belongs to the Jewish people, it was necessary to start the entire Torah with stories before halachas. But my father taught me that, hold on, the Torah could have just said the 6-7 days of creation and then skipped to the very first halacha given in the second book of Shemos about counting the Jewish months. Why does it have to start from the first Bereshis and then go through all the stories all the way to Shemos? It can skip. It does it all the time. There's no chronological order in the Torah. We know that. So for this, I want to quote a story. What's the story? The story is about the Shpola Zayda, one of the students of the Baal Shem Tov. The Shpola Zayda once asked, how come on Parshas Noach, when it says Noach was a Tzadik, Tamim Haya B'Daresav, he was perfect in his generation, Rashi brings down that there's a machlekes, there's an argument. Was he a Tzadik despite the fact that he had a negative social influence, which makes him even greater? And if he would have had good chaverim, good social influence, he would have been 10 times greater. Or was he only a tzaddik because, in comparison to his negative social influence, but if he would have been in the generation of Abraham, he wouldn't have been considered a tzaddik? Shpola Zayda asks such a great question. If you can say something nice about Noach, why say the negative thing? Why say Lashon Hara? Why not say Dan Lekaf Schus, judge him favorably, that Noach was the best? Rashi doesn't have to quote every single commentator or every single opinion. Why does Rashi bring both? Shpola Zayda says an answer which is such an important answer for teaching us why these stories are said about individuals, why these stories are said for me and you. Shpola Zayda says, because there will come a time before Mashiach when we look around and we're not on the level of the giants upon whose shoulders we stand, and the tzaddikim that we've come before us, the righteous women and men of years past. And we'll say, we're not worthy to change the world. What can we do? Therefore, Rashi had to bring down that Noah, according to one opinion, may not have been worthy, and therefore Noach, nevertheless, is the first one in the entire book of Rishos to be labeled Tzadik, righteous. Because it is our acts of righteousness, no matter who we are, that can and do change the world.